An IGROS KODESH, big miracle took place in Israel a few months ago, but we were just told about it. It was publicized in the page of Sichas HaGeula of this Shabbos Vayera. You can find it online also. If you go hageula.com and you go down to the bottom, you scroll down to the bottom, you will see Sichas HaGeula, and you will say Sichas HaGeula for this Shabbos, and you can open it up and you can see that story over there. So it goes like this. Very big miracle. Ami Ben Maimon, he's a radio show host in Israel. It's a beautiful radio show. A lot of people listen to it on a daily basis. And he has a good friend of his who works nearby where he works. His name is Reb David. This David, his aunt saw him, and she looked at him and she said, "You have little bumps on your head. Your head looks very strange. It's not looking good, and I think you should have it checked up." And so Reb David went to the doctors, to the hospital, to some specialists, and he went through an exam, and they told him, the doctors told him at first that the head doesn't look good, and those bumps don't look good, and they're not looking like they're in good condition. And therefore, he went through the test, through the exam, medical exam, and they told him that the first test results will receive in 2 weeks, and the second test results, which are more accurate, you'll receive in a month and a half. And Reb David went to Ami Ben Maimon, and Ami Ben Maimon suggested that they should open up the IGROS KODESH, and they opened up volume 3, page 163, 164. They received the bracha from the Rebbe HaMashiach in Yiddish. The bracha, all of a sudden, while looking at the letter, they received a phone call from Reb David's wife. They picked up, and she said she opened up IGROS KODESH at the same time that they opened up, and got the same letter exactly. Volume 3, page 163, 164. And she told him that the Rebbe mentions over there in Yiddish that he should look at the strings of his tzitzis, check them up and make sure they're in good condition. And also mentions in the letter that they had an argument, a machlokes, with some people before in the past, and that should be resolved and rectified. So when they closed the book, Reb David said, "I don't recall having an argument with anyone," but then he did remember that actually a few years ago they had actually had an argument with a certain family in Israel, and so they found out where the family is, and they rushed a letter to them for forgiveness and for brotherhood, become friends again, and everything should be well and good. Meanwhile, the test results came back and they were not good. And actually, David was diagnosed to have the Yena Machla on his head, God forbid. Rabbi Ami Ben Maimon was petrified. He said, "How could this be?" After getting a bracha from the Rebbe in IGROS KODESH, and they immediately spoke to Rabbi Zimroni Tzik in Israel. And Rabbi Zimroni opened up IGROS KODESH, and Rabbi Zimroni said the Rebbe is asking that David should show up to a class every week. He should show up to a weekly class at the Chabad house, and everything will be fine. So Ami Ben Maimon is saying that this is when the miracles started rolling up. The big miracles started happening. Reb David would show up to a class on a weekly basis, and a month and a half later, the doctors called up and they said that they might have made a mistake on the diagnosis of Reb David, and it might be that they actually had different results, and it was all one big mistake, but they're not sure about it. Still, Rabbi Ami Ben Maimon said that he prayed to Hashem that Reb David should not have any whatsoever, God forbid, any sickness or anything like this of what the first diagnosis said, doctors were not sure, and he wanted just to make sure 100% that nothing actually is happening to Reb David. And so the next phone call they got from the doctors, they told them to come into the hospital and they want to have a conference with them. They want to talk to them about this. And when they arrived at the hospital, they told them that actually from the first test results, everything was one big mistake. And Reb David is actually 100% healthy and he's good to go. So we can see from here, ladies and gentlemen, how important it is to ask a bracha from the Rebbe Melech HaMashiach all the time in IGROS, all the times to be in correspondence with the Rebbe, straight into the IGROS KODESH, the Rebbe, and you can see miracles. The greatest miracles are happening. Yechi Adonai Morenu Rabbeinu Melech HaMashiach Le'olam Vaed.